to call my own. I want a dream lover so I don't have to dream alone. Dream lover, where are you? With a love oh so true, and the hand that I can hold, feel you near as I grow old. 'Cause I want a girl to call my own. I want a dream lover so I don't have to dream alone. Someday I don't know how, I hope she'll hear my plea. Some way I don't know how, she'll bring her love to me. Dream lover, until then I'll go to sleep and dream again. That's the only thing to do till all my lovers' dreams come true. 'Cause I want a girl to call my own. I want a dream lover so I don't have to dream alone. Dream lover, until then I'll go to sleep and dream again. That's the only thing to do till all my lovers' dreams come true. 'Cause I want a girl to call my own. I want a dream lover so I don't have to dream alone. Please don't make me dream alone. I beg you, don't make me dream alone. No, I don't wanna dream alone. Deep down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good, who never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play a guitar just like a ringing a bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go. Johnny be good. He used to carry his guitar in a gunny sack, go sit beneath the tree by the railroad track. Foliage, and he would sing sitting in the shade, strumming with the rhythm that the drivers made. When people passing by, they would stop and say, "Oh my, but that little country boy could play." Go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Johnny be good. His mother told him someday you will be a man, and you will be the leader of a big old band. Many people coming from miles around to hear you play your music when the sun go down. Maybe someday your name will be in lights saying, "Johnny, be good tonight." Go, 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 Johnny, go. 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 Go, Johnny, be good. Here's my story, it's sad but true. It's about a girl that I once knew. She took my love, then ran around with every single guy in town. Hey, hey, whoa, hey, whoa, whoa, la, 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 yeah, I should have known it from the very start. This girl to leave me with a broken heart. Listen, people, what I'm telling you. I keep away from a run around Sue. Yeah, my Mr. Lips and a smile on her face. The touch of her hand and this girl's one embrace. So if you don't want to cry like I do, I keep away from a run around Sue. Whoa. She likes to travel around, yeah. She love you and she'll put you down.
Hello, everybody. It is 6 o'clock. So we want to get started here on time. I think that's what Lauren's got going on. She's going to get our presentation started here, but I wanted to start out by welcoming everybody. Thank you for joining us from your homes tonight. I hope you have a cozy place to enjoy our program, maybe a favorite beverage. I have a little pomegranate sparkling water that I'm drinking tonight, and my dessert. I hope those that receive desserts are enjoying their desserts tonight while they're watching. I'm so glad we could be here together, even if it's just virtually, to recognize you as our volunteers and partners. This is really one of my favorite nights of the year because we get to thank you for all the work you have done to make our watershed a better place. And we're so thankful for that. Couple of housekeeping items. All microphones and videos will be muted for the duration of our presentation this evening to avoid any background noise. But if you have a question or a technical issue, please feel free to either use the chat or the Q&A buttons that are at the bottom of your screen. If you're on a PC, they'll be there anyway. And you can chat or Q&A, put in a question if you have one. So feel free to use those. We know this has been an unusual couple of years, and we have all had to adapt and change our routines because of that. Our program tonight is really another example of how our team has adjusted to meet those challenges. And I want to take a moment just to recognize the groups of people that help lead the work that we do and specifically put time into the program tonight. First, we have our Citizen Advisory Committee members and Minnesota Water Stewards. These are your neighbors in the district and volunteers that put in countless hours to help further our mission and goals. Thank you to the CAC members specifically for reviewing our award nominations tonight and making such great recommendations to our board. They put in countless hours and we just really appreciate that. Next, I want to introduce our staff. When I say that our staff is the best, I don't think anyone can dispute that, especially over the last 18 months when nothing seemed normal. I hope that you still saw the results and the passion of our committed staff in the work that we do throughout the watershed. But we do need to get back together for an updated staff photo. So we have the best we could do with these tonight. And then our board members. I want to introduce you to Larry Swope, Cliff Eichinger, Pam Skinner, Diane Ward, and Val Eisel. The board is who sets our direction and is continually challenging us to reach our goals and find new and innovative ways of solving our challenges. Specifically tonight, I'm going to introduce you to Larry Swope, who is our board president. Larry's going to say a few words to you tonight before we dive into our program. So Larry, I will pass the mic to you.
Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. And on the RWMWD Board of Managers, I'd like to welcome everybody to this annual celebration where we honor the people that made a difference in their communities and are taking a leadership role in protecting and enhancing the local environment. The honorees this year have demonstrated that they can involve the communities and the schools in understanding the value of our water resources, going above and beyond with the challenges of dealing with a COVID environment and enhancing the education of the public about the programs of the RWMWD. This year's honorees are particularly good because when the list came out to the Board of Managers, it was interesting to me that they were so excited about the people that were on the list, they just couldn't help themselves and wait for the meeting to talk about it. They had to exchange some emails to say what a great list of people we had this year and how they were excited about what it was that they had contributed. Particularly, I'd like to thank the Citizens Advisory Committee and the nomination team for their hard work in going through the applications. And we also want to recognize Carrie Magnuson and Cliff Eichinger for their work for the CAC, and Tina and Lauren and Simba for their work in organizing this event. The stewardship and leadership of this year's honorees bodes well for the future of the community programs in the watershed. And so now let's get moving on the show. And I'll turn it back to Tina. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Really appreciate those words. Yes, we are ready to move on with the show, and it is now time to recognize our Landscape Ecology Award winners. So I am going to welcome our Citizen Advisory Committee co-chairs, Dana Larson-Ramsey and Mark Gurnis, who will be presenting the awards this evening.
Excellent. Thank you, Tina. We are very, very excited to be here tonight for the awards. I'm Dana, as Tina mentioned. I am the director of the Nature Preserve for H.B. Fuller, and I co-chair with Mark the LEAP team for many years. We're going to have some slides here to show you about the LEAP team momentarily. There we go. I'd like to tell you, if you're not familiar with the program, LEAP, or Landscape Ecology Awards program, I'll tell you a little bit about it. The Landscape Ecology Awards program recognizes landowners in the watershed district, including private residences, as well as public and commercial properties that use good management practices to preserve and improve their water quality and natural resources. The district's volunteer LEAP team manages this program and conducts all of the judging, and the awards are given out annually. Here's some pictures of our very dedicated and very fun-loving LEAP team. There are 10 citizen volunteers on this team. Besides Mark and I, we have Gail, Anita, Phyllis, Jan, Roxanne, Cindy, Missy, and Scott. And of course, our amazing staff liaison, I'm going to give a shout out to Simba Blood.
Thank you, Deanna. I'm Mark Gurnis, and I'm going to say a little bit more about LEAP. LEAP has been going now for 20 years. It started actually in 2002. And over that time, we have been just delighted to have recognized and awarded 112 sites thus far. Of these, 81 have been private residents, 6 schools, 7 businesses, 5 churches, and 13 public properties. We really encourage you to consider nominating a site in the future. A quick fun fact about our award locations thus far: we have 12 cities in the watershed, and 10 of those 12 cities have had LEAP Award winners. We're still waiting for Jim Lake and Landfall recipients, so if you know any good properties there, please nominate them. The application to nominate is really pretty short, pretty brief. It's only about a half a page. It's available on the website for the district. And we really encourage people to pull that up next spring when you're driving around and you start seeing properties that, wow, they're doing a great job. Go ahead and nominate them. The full application itself is actually about 3 pages, but the nomination form is really only about half a page. And we really want to remind folks that we can do so much when we choose some alternative landscaping methods. And so we really encourage people to try this at home. And one of the ways that you can get going if you're not quite sure is you can apply for the Ramsey-Washington Metro Watershed Stewardship Grant Program. They offer matching funds, and Paige Alberg is the staff contact and would be happy to provide you the information to get an application going. Tonight, we are awarding 7 sites in 6 cities, and they actually represent LEAP Award recipients over the last 2 years. Because of the pandemic, we did not have a award program last year. So we're kind of playing a little bit of catch up with 2020 and 2021. All LEAP Award winners will receive several prizes, including gift certificates from native plant nurseries, a LEAP team artisan bird bath. We made these bird baths. One of our members, Gail Acosta, has been doing these bird baths for years and years, and she's trained us all so wonderfully. So that that's one of the prizes. We also provide a LEAP sign that hopefully everybody that has a LEAP award will put out front and proudly display, so that others passing by know that that's a special landscape. And so with that, I think that's probably a good background, and we'll jump into the 2020 award winners.
Thanks, Mark. So we're going to start, as he said, with 2020. We have 2 award winners from the 2020 season that we're acknowledging tonight. And if the LEAP winners, can you please, when your award is announced, will you please unmute yourself so that we'll be able to ask you a question about your project? That would be most appreciated. Our first winner tonight is Emma Porter and Troy Sabian, and they are being awarded for their prairie planting on their very steep front yard in their Roseville home. I think you'll agree with me that that is quite a beautiful sight. When we visited their home, Emma wasn't able to join us because she was out hiking the Pacific Coast Trail. So you can tell, very energetic duo over there. We thought it was pretty cool to find out that their neighbor calls this the nature house, and it truly is. They started their project in 2017, and they really focused on prairie grasses. One thing they do each year is they retain their spent vegetation throughout the winter to provide both habitat and seed source for birds and other animals in their yard. Their very steep front yard was a challenge when they used to mow it, and it was interesting to know that Troy said it takes them a lot less time now to take care of it than it did when they were doing traditional mowing. They have a lot of pollinators and insects that come to their yard, so many so that their neighbor, who is a computer engineer, comes over and keeps counts and reports how many insects he counts on their site. We thought that was pretty neat. And it was really exciting to hear them say that one of the things that they were trying to do is to do their part for impaired Lake Bennett, which is nearby. So we have a question for you, Emma and Troy. The question is, what inspired you to transition from perennials to more native plants?
Hi. So our front yard, like many, was turf, and it was also on a hill. We knew that having that incline meant that there'd be more runoff going to Lake Bennett, which is an impaired body of water. So with this in mind, we decided to transform our turf lawn into a lower maintenance, native garden that could hold more water in the yard and benefit the local ecosystem. We chose to focus on native plants because they're adapted to the local environment and tend to be low maintenance. We also knew that they could provide much needed habitat. In addition, there are so many beautiful plants native to Minnesota, and I've always enjoyed seeing them incorporated in parks and other people's gardens, and knew that when we had the opportunity, we'd want to use them in our yard too.
Wow. And thank you, Emma and Troy, and congratulations. Fantastic, fantastic site. Our next award, also from 2020, is in Shoreview, or excuse me, Little Canada, and Kathy and Greg Hunder and Melanie Coughlin have worked on this project. You may have noticed in the, especially in this slide, as well as the overview slide, that it's a huge project. It's a shoreline restoration on Savage Lake. And it's such an amazingly diverse set of communities. It blends habitats like wetlands, uplands, and the lake itself. They started, I believe, in 2011. Melanie has been a lot of the brainchild behind the effort, but Greg and Kathy have certainly been there all along the way. And in that beginning stage, the site was mostly daylilies, miscanthus, buckthorn, thistles, lots of problem plants, and they continue to battle the hybrid cattail. They had to control these invasives before they could really get down to do the fun things. They regraded, planned and planted, and had to and have to continue handling significant water flows. And now they're expanding. They have permission from Little Canada to work on a storm drain easement and have begun planting that. An amazing project. And so my question for you on this such large project, what techniques have you used to reduce some of your maintenance time?
It takes all of our time when we finally get here and get started. Certainly initially, just helping the young plants establish themselves. It seems now in good sections of the garden, the native plants are dominating, and some of the worst weeds, well, they might have to be taken care of for the rest of our lives, but it's starting to turn the corner for sure.
Well, we certainly were impressed with your site and certainly enjoyed our time out there. Congratulations again to all of you. Our third site.
We're honored, thank you.
You're welcome. We're happy to provide the award. Well deserved. Our next award tonight is the first of our 2021 LEAP Award winners. We have 5 award winners this year, and we're excited to first award to Lori and Mike Pelleroyd. They have a native plantings and a bee lawn in their neighborhood in Woodbury. What a beautiful site. What pollinator wouldn't love to live there, right? We had a lot of fun when we visited their site, getting out and checking out all the pollinator plantings and the bee lawn, and look at the fun signs they had. We thought that was really fun and creative too. One of the things we noticed is it was just buzzing with bees and all the different insects flying around. So it truly was doing its job attracting all those pollinators. Lori was so enthusiastic, and we love that one of the things she loves doing so much is to share her site and her vision with the neighborhood. It's pretty cool that her project was in fact nominated by a neighbor. Well, that's quite a kudo. You can see that her site is immaculately maintained. One of the ways that she signals that this is done intentionally and is being well cared for is that she maintains a mowed border. on her site. She is very intentional about what she's doing, and one of her goals, which is very admirable, is that she's hoping to inspire a paradigm shift. So Lori, what we would like to know, what do you hear from your neighbors that have more traditional lawns?
Well, it's always fun when I'm out working because invariably people will stop by and take a look. And honestly, all the comments have been positive. I've shared plants with some of them. Sometimes I get the comment, I was thinking about a little corner in our yard, we might change from traditional grass, and that's definitely what I want. And a fabulous neighbor down the street was inspired by my alternative, and now her complete front yard is also alternative. So remember there was that old commercial about they'll tell two friends and so on and so on and so on. And that's kind of what I'm hoping here.
Cool. Very cool, Lori and
Thank
Mark. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It definitely is an exciting thing and an honor to have been recognized. I appreciate Stephanie's nomination a lot. So thank you much.
Our fourth site is in St. Paul, and it's property of Melissa Wenzel and David Palu. And lots of native planting in front as well as in the back. Melissa and David started their project about 4 years ago. They began with replacing rock and daylily in the front yard. They really wanted to feature their front yard in order to share or show off and very great color and diversity and all the pollinators that are attracted there. They had to do a lot of soil amendment because their soil is fairly heavy clay, so they added a lot of compost, and it worked great. Their neighbors all know them by their yard and often stop to chat about what the plants are and what pollinators have been seen in the recent days. And it really does showcase both Melissa and Dave's values. And we were really kind of struck with a comment that I believe Melissa made that, you really have to give back. And so that kind of sets the question is, how has what you've chosen to spend your time on in this landscaping changed over the course of your project?
Hi, everybody. Melissa here. That's a really, really great question. I would say that the pandemic obviously changed how we gardened, but it also gave us a reason to double our front garden. So we received a watershed grant 3 years ago, and it took care of 1/4 of our garden, and we've quadrupled it since. Last year, we deliberately wanted to put our efforts to the front garden because we live in a part of St. Paul where there aren't any sidewalks, and people walk in the street. They walk their dogs, they run, everything is done in the street. And so people walk by. A lot of times people keep their gardens in the back, and we deliberately wanted to add color, add quality of life to our front garden. And it gave us a purpose. And my partner David has said that he wanted me to have all the attention because I did most of the work, but he gets a lot of credit too. And it was a joy to be able to contribute to something during such a tough time. And I'm hoping to inspire other people to consider similar efforts.
What a wonderful gift to put your focus where you could share it with the neighborhood. Thank you for doing that, Melissa, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much. What an honor.
Our next neighborhood that we're going to is in St. Paul. We're going to Emily Murphy and Scott Kaiser's home, and they are being awarded for their pollinator plantings in their St. Paul yard. Doesn't their pathway just welcome you right into their gardens? Such a wonderful site. They started their project about 3 years ago, and they started it with the goal to create pollinator gardens. Emily took advantage of a time when she was between jobs, and she planted half the lawn into a pollinator garden using mostly native plants. It's quite a sight to see. They have incorporated a rain barrel, and their yard does a great job to add aesthetics and beauty to the neighborhood. This last year, they seeded their boulevard and their alleyway, and they also had a very exciting event. They welcomed baby Leo into the family. The two of them are so enthusiastic and really enjoy learning. They had a lot of great questions for our team when we visited, and we really enjoyed their site. So our question for you, Emily and Scott, is how has the Stewardship Grant Program helped you to achieve your goals?
Yeah, it was so exciting getting the stewardship grant, and I would say it helped us, it inspired us to go big. And probably halfway through, I thought we went too big, but we persevered, and it's been really, really fun to see all that life. It was really amazing. That first summer really didn't get started till later June, kind of early July, and we thought, oh, well, maybe next year we'll see that impact. But we saw butterflies and dragonflies and just all sorts of life coming, even within, those first few weeks. And that was really awesome. Another goal of ours was to just mow less. And for some reason, 20 minutes of mowing seems like eternity, but an hour gardening, that's nothing. So that's definitely helped transform that labor. So yeah, it's been really great to be part of a grant program to kind of make us feel connected to this larger watershed and just a larger impact. And I just want to say too, thanks to the Stewardship Grant Program staff. I've been so impressed with the site visits, and that it's not just year one that you come out, but that there are follow-up and that you're able to answer questions and give that feedback. So thank you so much for this honor, but also just thanks for all your work.
Thank
There
you,
he
Emily.
is.
Here's
Leo.
Congratulations, Emily and Scott.
There he is.
There he is.
He's a little busy right now. So, but thank you, everyone.
Really fantastic site. Our next one, next location is actually a joint effort at the Island Lake Elementary School. And it's a joint effort between the school and the Big Woods, Big Waters, rather Big Rivers, Big Woods, Wild Ones chapter in Shoreview. And we have Christy Abbott, the principal at the school, as well as Karen Ekman. This demonstration garden was begun nearly 10 years ago in 2012 as an Eagle Scout project. It was briefly maintained by the Eagle Scout and then his parents. And then it fell into a bit of a disarray for a couple, 3 years. And in 2016, the site was kind of rescued and was adopted by the Shoreview Clean Water Committee and the Wild Ones chapter. And since 2016, when they began working on this site, they put in over 600 volunteer hours. Amazing. It's a really challenging site. The photos and the clips we've had don't really capture the fact that it's on top of a hill with no water source. And they've carried 5-gallon buckets up that hill to water the plants. I wonder how many 5-gallon buckets have had to be carried. Wow. It's very diverse and it's all native. And they have a memorial bench that people can often sit and just contemplate beautiful flowers and grasses. It's amazing. And all the plants also have plant labels. Very nice, good way to learn your plants. So our question for Christy and Karen, what educational opportunities does this project provide for kids and adults alike?
Yeah, so I actually just want to acknowledge that partnership is a very loose term here. My school and I are definitely much more on the receiving end than the partnership end. And I want to make sure that Karen and all of her volunteers get the true credit for it. But I'm happy to answer the education part of it because we definitely benefit from their work. So, there are the obvious connections to our life science standards, which run throughout first through fifth grade, where we're starting really early, where we're just observing the natural systems and identifying the living and non-living. And then each year it gets more complex. And by fifth grade, they're really meant to describe a natural system right here in Minnesota. And they're supposed to describe the relationships and different terms of those inputs and outputs and things. And so like for us to have this right here on our school ground is quite an amazing opportunity. Like that part is kind of like that obvious piece, but the last year and a half here, and I just have to say too, I've only been here 2 years. So I actually walked into this garden when it was finished. And so I've only seen pictures of it from before and it's pretty impressive. But the last year and a half, it's also provided really a space for just some serene mental health breaks. And our students have had the opportunity to use it to go out and get their mask breaks. And they've done reading out there and writing projects and just taken some breaks out there just for the simple reason of being outside. So it's been appreciated even more in the last year and a half. So, it's multi-layered as far as what the benefits are educationally, but I look forward to the partnership we're going to be able to do and the educational pieces we're going to be doing as we finish up this pandemic learning and we're able to get more of that partnership up for the in-school piece. So thank you to all of you and especially to Karen. And Karen, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I was looking at this question and I thought it'd be good for people to know that 36 by 36 foot garden is smack in the corner of their playground. So they might not get to a grandpa's farm, but they've got real native plants right there at the school. And we have these handy dandy labels that you guys highlighted so they can get information without anybody being there. And we talk to them through the fence frequently when they're out on the playground. And for adults, we 12 or so volunteers that have put in those hours. We love being in a full sun garden because our yards are shady. And we get to see plants behave differently and new plants and new pollinators that we don't normally see. I've gotten to see a white-lined sphinx moth and Halloween dragonfly. Never saw those in my own native gardens. And sometimes there's grandparents and parents and other adults with kids in the playground on weekends and holidays and after school. And so that gives us an opportunity to have conversations with those adults as well as their kids. And we've discovered there's a lot of misunderstanding about bees and wasps because there's some fear there and misunderstanding as to why you'd have a pollinator garden next to the playground. So we talk about how bees get a bad rap and how the differences between bees and wasps and things like that, and what are native plants and why are they here?
Well, congratulations to all of you on this project. It's an awesome partnership, and Karen, you have such dedication. We so enjoyed our time with you out there, and thank you for you and your team for providing this beautiful asset to the school. And Christy, we love that the school is encouraging and supporting of that. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Our final LEAP site tonight is Gary Schreier. He lives in White Bear Lake, and he is being awarded for his native backyard plantings. Looking at those photos and the video, it's not hard to believe that Gary has been working at this for 30 years, and he keeps adding to it every year. There's a beautiful landscape, and it was really fun to spend a lot of time in his yard exploring it. His yard attracts a lot of wildlife. He has resident bluebirds in his bluebird houses. He has mason bees, frogs, toads, sharp-shinned hawks. It's very, very attractive and well maintained, full of native flowers, sedges, and grasses. On the day we were there, we were really excited. We found all kinds of black digger wasps. We were looking at his swamp milkweed and we counted 9. Look at the beautiful insects in here. They're just iridescent in the sunlight. We were pretty excited about that. Gary has an impressive 4 rain barrels on his site, and he uses a sump pump to use that water to get it out to his many plants in his yard. So, and I also would like to acknowledge Gary Schreier this year. He joined the CAC, and we appreciate and acknowledge his participation on this, that team as well. So Gary, our question for you tonight is, what plans do you have to expand your gardens?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you for the award. And, you know, when we first moved into this house about 30 years ago, and I started planting, you know, typical things like hostas and daylilies and so on. But over time, I've kind of corrected my ways and have gone more towards more pollinator-friendly plants, and have expanded the garden quite a bit and removed, you know, some of the other plants. And 2 years ago, or last summer, the school district, the school owns a property behind our house, and that area was full of the edge between our house and the schoolyard had a number of buckthorn plants and weeds and stuff. And at my request, they came in and cleaned out their property, and that kind of opened up the back part of my yard to make it more sunny. So now my plan is to this next year is to plant along that edge a lot more of the native plants that I have and keep expanding, you know, with things like Maximilian sunflower, asters, coneflowers, hyssopes, and native grasses. So I'm excited to get going on that next spring.
Wow, amazing, Gary. Great site. Congratulations to you and all of tonight's LEAP Award winners. And a loud virtual round of applause, please. Don't forget, nominate LEAP Award properties next year. We're always looking forward to new locations to tour. Next, I think it's on to door prizes.
Yeah, I'll take it over from there. Thank you, Mark and Dana, for leading us through that. That was really amazing. And so I would like to a little round of applause. it's really inspiring, and I hope it inspires others in this event tonight, that if you look forward to spring as we're, trying to warm up from the snow today, maybe you're daydreaming of rain gardens and pollinator patches, and be in touch with our great staff, like Emily mentioned, for stewardship grants, if you're interested in doing some of that work next year. So we'd be happy to talk with you. So yes, now door prize raffle. This is one of our favorite parts of our program. Matt Donay from our Natural Resources program is here, and he is going to show off some of the great donated goods that we have for raffle today, and do the names. Pass it over to you, Matt.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. So I'm going to be going through some of our door prizes, which I know through Zoom, there's one of the things we're missing this year is an actual door. And it's too bad we can't see some of these prizes in person because they're really quite impressive. So we'll start with the next slide. So yeah, first I want to thank Dave Nelson. He made a lot of the bird houses and other critter houses you're about to see. They're just all handmade. He donates his time, resources into making them. So try to pay attention to the small detail on a lot of the houses. It's really amazing. So the first three prizes are cedar bluebird houses. So these include mounting hardware. And if you are a winner of one of these, definitely do your research on where to place them, what direction to face them, things like that, and reach out to us if you have questions. So the first winner is Mike Lawton. And I should mention too, you can pick these up from the RWMWD office, and we'll be in touch with you if you're a winner. The second winner of one of the bluebird houses is Catherine Kiefer. This is really weird to say these and there's no clapping or someone come up, that's okay. And the third and final winner of the bluebird house is Tracy Leavenworth. Great, we can go to the next set. So these are two full-size butterfly houses, and this is one of the ones, if you look closely at just the detail that went into this, really unique, would really look nice in a garden. So the two winners for these butterfly houses are Christy Abbott, and the second winner is Haley Finucane. And if you are one of those winners, I read it's recommended to put like tree bark or something inside, and butterflies like to attach onto that and something to grab onto. Yeah, they're really beautiful. I think we had one more butterfly house, maybe a slide back. Nope, maybe we don't. I thought we had one small. That's okay. So the next set of prizes . There we go. So these prizes are ladybug leaf compactors. And so if you notice, the lids look like ladybugs. And it's a little hard to see from this image, but these are trash cans with holes punctured in them. So in the fall, when you're scooping up leaves, you just compact with that handle unit on the top, and you can pack in a ton of leaves. Air comes out, but not the leaves. So it's a really unique design. So I think that's really cool. Plus, they're just really, really unique with the ladybug tops. So the two winners of those, we have Anna Barker and we have Phyllis Hunter. So congrats on those. Those are definitely one of a kind. Again, handmade from Dave Nelson. All right. The next prize, we have 2 wood duck houses. And so these are, if you have water property, that's great. They don't need to be in the water, but they should be within, I think, about 100 feet of the water at a minimum or at a maximum. And so the 2 winners of these wood duck houses are Kua Vang and Greg Honder. So congrats on those. Right. We also have 2 wren houses, and I'll be honest, I don't know anything at all about where these go or how to care for them. So if you win these, reach out to us or do a little research on your own. The 2 winners of these are John Chikala and Shua Tao. So very cool. And those are the last prizes from Dave Nelson. So just thanks again, Dave. Those all look just really nice as usual. Okay, so this prize is a Sit Upon by Sherry Brooks. And this is again handmade by Sherry. In her own words, they're great for weeding and planting in your garden. Something to sit on or kneel on. Handmade. Pretty unique as well. And Sherry is someone who's been donating her one-of-a-kind creations to the recognition dinner for years. So it's really cool. She's continued to do that. Oh, I need to read the winner. So the Sit Upon winner is Jackie Crow. So the Afghan, so if we were in person, this is typically when there's like audible gasps in the crowd and people are pretty impressed by this. So hopefully next year we'll be able to do that in person because the Afghan is always like pretty spectacular. And the winner of the Afghan this year is Melanie Coughlin. So congrats, it's definitely a unique prize. So thanks again to Sherry Brooks and Dave Nelson on those handmade prizes. We really appreciate that. So our last 2 prizes of the nights, this one is 4 rounds of golf at Goodrich Golf Course. And the winner of this is Dana Larson Ramsey. Congrats to you. You can go 4 times by yourself or bring 3 friends and go once. And our final prize of the night is good for 4 rounds at Keller Golf Course, and that includes golf carts as well. And the winner of this prize is Lori Pellery. Not sure if I said the last name wrong, but congrats to you. And Keller Golf Course is a partner of the Watershed District for 20+ years. Some of these restoration sites are beautiful. So even if you weren't the winner, I'd recommend getting out there and checking out these sites. Oh. And that's all I have for door prizes. So congrats, everyone.
Yes, congrats, door prize winners. Awesome. Thanks, Matt. We should have had like a sound machine or something to do our clapping and oohing and eyeing, but it was really exciting. And I really appreciate Dave and Sherry for that. That's so generous of them to donate their hard work and those goods for us. So thank you so much. And like Matt mentioned, we'll be in touch with all the winners so we can coordinate pickups or drop-offs or figure that all out. So great. All right. As we continue to take a little break and do some announcements and things, I'm going to pass it to staff member Carrie Maynison, who is here to give us an update on Waterfest 2022.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming tonight. I just want you to all save the date for Waterfest on June 4th of this coming year. Waterfest is our largest annual family-friendly education event. All activities are free. Examples of past offerings include sailing, canoe rides, fishing, there's a rainfall simulator, and dozens of educational booths, and all are welcome. One of the most important parts of a successful Waterfest are, of course, our volunteers. Many of you have volunteered with us many times over the last 2 years. So keep an eye out on our events page on the website next spring, or subscribe to our newsletter to find out how you can be involved.
Thanks, Carrie. We're really looking forward to hopefully being able to have a big celebration of such, not just for Waterfest, but just to be together as stewards of our watershed and enjoying that time together. So definitely look forward to updates on that over the next several months. Next up, before we dive into the actual Watershed Excellence awardees, we always like to share with you the artist who completes the designs for our awards for our Watershed Excellence winners. Eric Summers is our artist, and he has recorded a few words to share with you about the design this year, and would like to share that with you.
Congratulations to this year's recipients. I want to thank Dana and the committee for asking me to make the awards again this year. It's an honor to be part of acknowledging the smart work of environmental stewardship your organization does with our most important resource. Our furnace has been off during much of the pandemic. I took a chance and made these pieces in June, and as luck would have it, it was the hottest 3 weeks of the year. But I was glad that I made them. I used a Kugler Color K44. It's in a small frit. The color is a deep blue and green with some yellowish iridescence depending on how it's heated. The design is a water droplet. During the pandemic, my wife Dawn had a smart idea that we should get some kayaks, and we really enjoyed getting on the water at many local lakes and rivers. Peace and good health to you all in the coming year, and keep doing the good work. Kindness and integrity matter, and it's nice to work with an organization that has both. Thank you. Congratulations to this.
Thank you to Eric. Every year, we're so thankful for his contribution to our awards. He really puts his heart and soul into those awards, and they're just beautiful every time. So thank you, Eric. So now we are going to move into the Watershed Excellence Awards, and we have 5 awards for you tonight, and these awards recognize our volunteers and partners who make an extraordinary contribution to watershed conservation, education, and community outreach. As Larry mentioned earlier in the night, we have a truly impressive slate of awardees that I'm excited to share with you. So we're going to dive right in. And our first awardee tonight is Joy Cedarleaf. Joy is a retired teacher being recognized as a conservation champion for her years working with the City of Maplewood and the Maplewood Nature Center. We have here tonight on video City of Maplewood naturalist Carol Gurnis, who will present the award for Joy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Carol Gurnis from the City of Maplewood. I'm the Natural Resources Coordinator, former naturalist at Maplewood Nature Center. Joy Cedarleaf entered into a partnership with the City of Maplewood and the Watershed District. She's been helping the city for 20 years. She has brought her biology lab students for service learning experiences in ecology, field biology, and general biology classes from Century College. She's accomplished many projects that would not have been done without the help of Joy and her students. We didn't keep really good track of the number of hours, but I estimate that between Joy and her students, they've put over 6,000 volunteer hours in for just the city of Maplewood. They also worked on projects like woodland, prairie, and shoreline restoration plantings, which included thousands of perennials, shrubs and trees, erosion control, seam bank stabilization, tree care, maintenance, rain garden, native gardens, play yards, brush cutting, hauling and construction of brush burritos for the watershed, trail repairs and clearing, event and program preparation, litter pickup, native seed collection and planting, invasive plant control booklet construction, invasive plant removal, including Minnesota noxious weeds such as knotweed. And they're responsible for removal of 90% of the Oriental bittersweet infestation at Maplewood Nature Center. The entire hillside was covered with vines. They were going up trees. It was just like a jungle. And after removal, they installed erosion control, planted plugs, and seeded the area to restore it to a natural state. And last but not least, these students have removed a ton of bug plants. So congratulations, Joy Cedarleaf, for your award. It's well deserved.
Again,
Thank you.
Sound machine. Please welcome Joy to the stage to accept her Conservation Champion Watershed Excellence Award.
Thank you very much. It was actually a team effort. I couldn't have done it without the staff at Maplewood Nature Center and Simba and Sage and all their crew and everything. And so between them and my students, I think we inspired some hopefully future environmentalists. So they worked hard. We all worked hard. It was a win-win for everybody, myself, my students, and we helped out the community. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. So thank you very much.
Great. Congratulations, Joy. Thank you
you
for being here tonight too. And thank you to Carol Gurness for the nomination and award. Next up, we have the Outstanding Partner Award to present to Lisa Uslabar for her volunteer work at the Ramsey County Corrections Plant Nursery. Presenting her award are CAC Co-Chair Dana Larson-Ramsey and Greenhouse Manager Sean Uslabar.
I had met Lisa Uslabar in the past, as she's the wife of Sean Uslabar, who's the manager of the Correctional Facility Nursery. And this year I went out in May to purchase plants for my garden, and I met Lisa again. I asked her how they were able to have this wonderful plant sale and all these plants when I knew that the COVID had caused the grounding of all of the inmate help that the nursery had come to rely on for the past 20 years. I found out that Lisa had stepped up and she had spent pretty much every evening after her full-time job helping Sean work in the greenhouses, plus every weekend from February through June. She has really been she's been his staff this year, and all on a voluntary basis. I was so impressed with her dedication and commitment to this really, really important program that I wanted to nominate her for this award. About the county nursery growing all these plants, those of us who count on them for plantings like the one you see on our site here, we would not be able to do the plantings that we do. The Watershed District has used the nursery for many years, growing the plants and oftentimes custom growing plants for the watershed. And they've had a great partnership with the nursery. Well, now Lisa's become part of that partnership as well. Thank you so much, Lisa, for what you have done for the Correctional Facility Nursery this year and last year.
Hi, my name is Sean Uslavar. I am the manager of the Ramsey County Nursery Facility at the Ramsey County Correctional Facility. I am the husband of Lisa. She is my beautiful wife who has been a unbelievable help to us over the past decade in terms of helping keep this program afloat in many different ways, particularly during the last couple of years with COVID and all. Lisa has been willing to set her job aside at times to come and help out me at my job, and it's something that I'll never be able to repay her. I cannot thank you enough for all you've done over the years, and this award that you're getting today is just a very small token of everyone's appreciation for what you're able to provide us and what you have provided us over the years. So congratulations, and thank you very much for all you do and all you will continue to do.
Awesome. That's really special to come from her husband as well. But Lisa, please come to the stage to accept your Outstanding Partner Watershed Excellence Award, and congratulations.
Wow, thank you. That's a very kind nomination. I humbly accept that award and consider it a privilege. It's an opportunity that I can provide time and effort to such a wonderful cause. So I hope that my time somehow in some small way has contributed to make a difference in others' lives along the way. So thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. And I don't think it's small. I think those are big ways. So we really appreciate you. Thank you. Yes. All right. For our next award, it's a dual award. So we have two winners for our Outstanding Engagement Educator Award. We have Michelle Anderson and Jackie Crow, who have spent years teaching their elementary school students about watersheds and still to this day are maintaining the St. Peter Native Plant Garden. Their award will be presented tonight by staff member Sage Passy.
I'm here today at St. Peter Catholic School in North St. Paul to acknowledge and honor two teachers who are receiving the Watershed Excellence Awards this year. Their awards span a huge amount of time, over 13 years of time, where both these teachers in their time periods of teaching at the school have dedicated all their energy and time to helping kids learn about watershed issues, develop and design gardens, native plants, tending the gardens, learning about how the value of native plants impacts water quality, as well as the interactions between pollinators and native plants. This garden was designed by students who put together the plans, studied the plants, and then for years to come in the classes coming out and tending it, weeding it, collecting the seeds, learning about it, doing the maintenance has been a major effort. I can't say enough about these two teachers who've opened up their doors, spent endless hours preparing, and continue to come back every summer and spend hours working in these gardens once a week to have a beautiful place for this whole community of St. Peter Catholic School and the church nearby.
Michelle and I taught together for a while, and she was the one who was instrumental in putting in the butterfly garden at St. Peter's. So now that we're both retired from there, we work exclusively in the garden, taking out the invasive species, controlling some of the plants that spread a little too aggressively in the garden. She's just a real dynamo. I enjoy her as a friend, as a coworker, and as a teacher in the garden. She's much more knowledgeable than I am, and she has a true vision for what our garden should look like.
I'm here today because this site was the site of one of the places that Jackie Crow, as a teacher for that school, brought her students to help us with our restoration project. And this is not the only place her students got out into the community to do service. They also helped us at Southwood Nature Preserve, with our restoration both in the woodland and prairie there, as well as our more recent restoration at Snail Lake Regional Park. Jackie, along with her colleague Michelle Anderson, have gone above and beyond by involving their kids in all kinds of activities within our watershed, from helping develop performances at Waterfest to the Maplewood Mall dedication ceremony of all the new BMPs on their site, when the students were able to come out to that site and creatively tell the story of what we were doing there for water quality.
Jackie is very dedicated and very committed and very passionate about helping students learn science hands-on and formulating ideas and connecting their ideas to what they observe.
So we're really, really appreciative of the fact that we've had two teachers in this community that have passed on the legacy of their love of nature, their stewardship values, and brought that to life for their students in a variety of ways in this partnership with our watershed district.
Great. Thank you so much, Michelle and Jackie. And I want to welcome you to accept your Outstanding Engagement Educators Watershed Excellence Awards. I think Michelle was going to start off first tonight.
Well, I'm honored to receive the award, and on behalf of hundreds of students, past and present, of St. Peter's Catholic School, thank you, Ramsey-Washington Metro Watershed, and especially and Simba and Tracy and Kat about native plants, pollinators, how about other projects, and for your continued support of the Butterfly Garden. We are very grateful.
Thank you, Michelle, and Jackie, I'll have you jump in too.
Well, thank you, Sage, for all those kind words, and Michelle too. Our favorite days in the 4th grade were when Sage and Kathy and Tracy and the volunteers, the water stewards, the master gardeners, some of the master naturalists would come and they would plant seedlings together, or they'd clean the gardens, or we'd go out on those plantings, and the kids just loved it. So I thank you for all your work, and I thank you for this honor.
Thanks, Jackie. It's really special to have spent that time with the kids and being part of that role of introducing them to things that they may not have had the opportunity to. So we're really appreciative of the work that you've done and the continued support of that garden on that site. So thank you. Thank you for your time, both of you. Awesome. Next, we have another duo for awards tonight. We have Kua Vang and Shua Tao, who are here to receive the Stewardship Through the Arts Award for their commitment in creating the sculptures that were installed at Ames Lake and nearby Phelan Village in St. Paul. Their award tonight will be presented by Randy Edmondson and Alun Falaban.
I was an art teacher in St. Paul for a very long time, and Randy and I have been friends and colleagues for a long time. And she actually, did it start with you wanting to put the great blue heron back, right?
When the sculpture needed to be replaced at Ames Lake, which was a great blue to start with, we had this idea that, well, let's find youth of today.
And I approached the art teacher at Johnson High, and I asked her, do you have a student that might want to be involved in this great project that we have in mind? And she knew right from the moment, yes, I had this great kid, Kua, super motivated, super talented, lives on the east side. And I met him, I could tell this was the guy, because I saw some of his work when I met him in class, and I was just amazed. Like, it was a very skillful skillful kid. And he was all about it. He was like, yeah, I would love to do it. And that's how he got on board. And it took us, the project, all in all, took us a year?
The idea was that it would be engaging the next generation of youth. And so Alun and I went to several different youth clubs, youth organizations on the East Side. And of all the youth groups that we visited, the East Side Boys and Girls Club were interested. Those kids were interested. They committed as a group to say, we want to do this. And particularly Shua Tao said, I'll do the sculpture. And Tanisha was a 9th grader. And she said, yeah, I think I'll try it too. But that Keystone Clubs were with them the whole time. They kind of supported each other. And so then that's how we selected Shua. And then Ku was already starting. He had already started the Heron.
Right. I think Shua's work was more of a conceptual piece. Her piece was a steel versus Ku's bronze. So that was a different take on it. And that was a cool thing to do because now we had a different element, a different material to work with.
And what I heard from the neighborhood was that they wanted people to feel like it's seamless between the desire to have beauty and nature and appreciation for the environment, all connected to the man-made part of having the things that you need in your life. So it's not a food desert. It's not a place that you can't find the things you want and need for your family. So that vision of having mirrored herons with messages, and then the inset sculpture, which is a totally different abstract view of the wetland insects. I feel, and hearing from Kua and Shua both in their own words, that this is their neighborhood. And this is a way to share their appreciation and sense of ownership and responsibility from an art's way of knowing.
That's amazing. I really am blown away by the youth in our community and their commitment to their neighborhoods and just being able to make such a long-lasting impact on their community through their art is really inspiring. So thank you, Kua and Shua. And I think Kua is gonna accept the award first, and then we have a video, I believe, from Shua. So we'll have Kua step in first.
All right. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate the time to even have the chance to share a little bit of my story a little bit, and just really blessed to be able to even receive the award in the first place. I think that at the beginning, I didn't really really have an idea of what kind of impact I could really do to be a part of this. And so it was more just, a project that I really love doing, like what Alun had alluded to. And so I wanted to do it just to make a few $100 outside of high school. But throughout the whole process, I really appreciate Alun and Randy just being really first class for everything and helping me throughout the whole process. And now seeing everything, it's just, I really appreciate to be a part of making an impact in the wetland community and also especially in the youth community. And so I appreciate that.
Great. Thank you, Kua. And then I think we'll bring up a video from Shua for tonight as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Shua Tao. I'm currently a student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, not too far from home, which is a really good thing because I do get homesick. I am so honored and excited to have received this reward. I think that during the process creation for the design, most of where my head was at was in my childhood, my youth. So I grew up my entire life until college years in St. Paul, and I remembered my parents basically every week because me and my siblings begged them all the time to take us to one of the many lakes within St. Paul and nearby. And most of what we were doing, my brother's chasing the fishes, not sure why. And then me, I would be chasing butterflies, insects. And I think that's where the design was inspired from, because that's a lot of a big chunk of my childhood for many years, especially during the summertime. But now that I am now a college student and I'm not home, I do try to make those small connections to make me feel like I am home. So although I'm not an environmental studies major, it does have its way into incorporating itself into what I am now studying. So I've taken biology, microbiome, geography classes, and many of which the case studies do come from either the lakes here in Madison, but more often enough it is in Minnesota. One more time, I just want to say thank you to everyone who was involved in giving away this award. I'm honored to have made an art piece that's dedicated to the connection that I have to St. Paul and the land. I'm thankful for my mentors who have guided me throughout this process, who still keep in touch with me, and I hope everyone has a good night.
That was great. Thank you, Ku and Shua, for that, those words too. Awesome. So we are on to our last awardee of the night. And this is going to be presented to Stephanie Wong, who currently serves on our Citizen Advisory Committee and also volunteers as a Minnesota water steward. She just keeps adding to the list of amazing accomplishments that she has done. Her volunteer work with the watershed, as well as with the city of Woodbury, earns her the title of Community Catalyst for our Watershed Excellence Awards tonight. This award is being presented to her by Washington Conservation District's Angie Hong and district staff, Sage Passy.
So hi, I am Angie Hong, coordinator of the East Metro Water Resource Education Program, and I'm out at the beautiful Tamarack Nature Preserve today and wanting to tell you a little bit about one of the amazing volunteers in Ramsey-Washington Metro Watershed District named Stephanie Wong. Stephanie is receiving a Community Catalyst Award today, and indeed, she is a catalyst for so many projects and change in the community of Woodbury. At any given point in time, you could find Stephanie pulling buckthorn on a trail. In fact, she is pulling buckthorn on a trail right now. You could find her teaching kids from the local school about the plants and the animals. She could be pointing out a blue jay that is up in the tree. She could be over at the city hall talking to people about salt and wise salt use during the winter time. She could even be doing a puppet show. So Stephanie is engaged in so many different ways in our community, and it is one of the things that we love best about her.
Giving Stephanie Wong a Watershed Excellence Award is a real no-brainer when it comes to thinking about all the different ways that she engages with the public, inspires other people to do projects, and then demonstrates it in her own territory, whether it's the nearby Tamarack Swamp or in her backyard. I'm standing here in her latest masterpiece, where she helped work with designers to create a really large-scale rain garden and native planting in her backyard to address runoff. This is an example of the demonstration kind of approach that Stephanie is so adept at. Whether it's inspiring young people to adopt drains or homeowners or people like Stonecrest residents to understand what they're doing in their own community to protect water, Stephanie is a true master.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. We have all seen your tireless work in the community on behalf of our waters and our ecosystems. I personally love when I hear, well, Stephanie has an idea or Stephanie wants to talk about this. And I think, here we go. Like we are on a path to something new and exciting. So thank you, Stephanie. And I would like to invite you forward to accept your Community Catalyst Watershed Excellence Award.
Well, thank you. I'm still a little overwhelmed by the recognition. For these projects have really expanded my own world. They've unlocked opportunities for me to interact face-to-face and more recently kind of virtually with a wonderful community within the watershed district and the neighborhoods that the district serves. And I wanted to say that though my name is on this award, it's really truly a joint effort. And I'd like to take a couple moments to recognize a few individuals that I've been privileged to join forces with over the years. So first, thank you to my fellow water stewards, especially to Linda Nielsen and to Anna Barker. Linda is special to me because she gave me the confidence to develop outreach programs. She accepted my first harebrained proposal to develop a campaign to engage pet owners to talk about the messy topic of picking up after their pet. And she didn't balk even after I confessed that not only did I not have a pet, but that we needed to deliver this within 10 days. So thank you, Linda. Anna Barker's energy just keeps me going. She has been my steadfast partner in Woodbury ever since Sage Passy recommended that we carpool together to water steward training. And David Nelson, whose work you saw this evening, for me defines generosity, both in the time and the skills and the knowledge, along with the doses of humor that he shares. So, my partner definitely in the Tamarack Nature Preserve, Dana Boyle, she makes me appreciate the advantages of collaborating with someone with a complementary skill set, and together we get it done. And of course, all of us, I think, would be remiss to say it's without the help of the water professionals. So the support of the staff at the Watershed District and MREP, thank you. You provide the credibility that extends the reach of any of these projects. So thanks for the recognition. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the inspiration. And I look forward to the future interactions. Thanks much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stephanie. And thank you all of our awardees, all of our volunteers, all of our supporters, everybody that's here tonight. We're just so appreciative. And I think the theme I heard a lot tonight around maybe the timing of this and the pandemic and just what an important thing nature and just having the beauty. And I loved what some said about planting along the boulevard. I think Melissa did, about planting along the boulevard so that the people who are walking more because of the pandemic have that beauty. And I think it's really important to show that the work that we do is not only good for our water, but it's also good for our well-being and our children and all that. So it was really inspiring tonight. And so I appreciate all of you. Thank you. That does conclude our recognition program this evening. I just want to give one more big shout out to staff that worked on this program tonight and put together the videos and kind of got everything together. It was really amazing time to be able to spend, if not in person, in this way. So we really look forward to another great year in 2022 and hope that we can be together in person to celebrate next year. So everybody have a great winter and holiday season ahead, and we'll see you very soon. Take care, good night, and feel free to say goodbye and on the way out in the chat, and have a good evening. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, Larry. Thank you.
Night.
Night, everybody.
Good job.
Night. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Tim. We really appreciate your work to make this all work out tonight.
Yes,
Yep.
thank Tim. Thank
No
you,
problem.
Dana, as well, for bringing Tim in. Thank you. And Dana for all your work on this program. My goodness. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy to help.
Good night, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.